Ravensworth Inn stood at the edge of Briarwood Forest, a Victorian-era structure shrouded in perpetual mist. For decades, travelers avoided staying there, but for those who had no choice, a warning circulated: never book the last room. Jared, a skeptical travel writer, scoffed at the inn's reputation. He checked in late one stormy evening, specifically requesting the last room out of curiosity. The receptionist, an older woman with hollow eyes, hesitated before reluctantly handing him the key. "Don't leave the door open," she whispered, almost to herself. The room, number 13, was at the end of a dimly lit hallway. The heavy wooden door creaked as Jared entered. It was oddly cold inside. Dust floated in the air, illuminated by the flickering light. Then faint footsteps echoed in the hallway. He opened the door. Nothing. The corridor was empty, the shadows seeming to stretch longer than they should. Returning to his room, he noticed something strange. The mirror above the sink was fogged as if someone had just taken a hot shower. He touched it, but the glass was icy cold. His reflection seemed distorted just slightly. Wrong. And he heard it again. Footsteps. Closer this time. They stopped right outside his door. His breath caught in his throat as the doorknob turned slowly, stopping just before it clicked. "Hello," but Jared called, voice hoarse. Silence. As he glanced at the mirror, his blood froze. His reflection was gone. The mirror showed the room, but no Jared. He backed away, heart pounding, when a whisper brushed against his ear. "Don't leave the door open." Spinning around, he saw nothing. Panic surged through him. He grabbed his bag, determined to leave, but when he reached for the doorknob, it was gone. The door was seamless, as though part of the wall. The room seemed to close in. Shadows grew, crawling up the walls. Jared pounded on where the door had been, screaming for help. His voice echoed, but it was as though the room had swallowed it. Suddenly, a figure stepped from the shadows. His reflection smiled, eyes hollow, mouth stretching too wide. The shadow stepped closer, reaching out. As its fingers touched his chest, a searing cold spread through him. He felt his consciousness slipping, drawn into the shadow's void. The next morning, the receptionist knocked on the door of room 13, receiving no answer. It was a master key. She entered. The room was empty, but the mirror reflected more than it should have faced. Pressed against the glass, eyes wide with silent screams. She sighed, closing the door softly. Another one lost to Ravensworth Inn. Another warning ignored.